All of a sudden, everybody's quiet. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dr. Hiebert-Murphy, members of the Provost Office, and honored teachers, students, and guests. Welcome to the 32nd Annual Students Teacher Recognition Reception at the University of Manitoba. The University of Manitoba campuses are located on original lands of Anishinaabeg, Innuit, Anishinaabe, Dakota Oyate, and Dene Suline, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I am Erica Jung. I serve as the Director for the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, and I will serve as the MC for this afternoon's event. Let me start by introducing members of our platform. Dr. Diane Hiebert-Murphy, Provost and Vice President Academic at the University of Manitoba. You can wave. And Ms. Colleen Webb, who is the Senior Team Lead at the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning. So this event asks individual faculties to select an outstanding graduating student to acknowledge and celebrate two teachers who have had a positive impact on their lives, one from their K-12 years and one from the University of Manitoba. We have recognized almost 1,000 teachers in this way over the past 32 years. It is a favorite event and certainly one that I enjoy attending and hearing all the students share about the impact that various educators have had on their lives. So at this time, I would like to invite Dr. Hiebert-Murphy to bring some words of welcome from the university.
Thanks very much, Erica. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's Students Teacher Recognition Reception. I always get that title wrong. I don't know why. I've had the pleasure of attending many of these events, not all 32, but many of them, and I consider this a very special event at the University of Manitoba, where we honor teachers who've had a significant impact on the lives of some of our most accomplished students. It really is a tremendous celebration of teaching at the university. Teaching is an amazing profession. I can't think of very many other roles that play such an important part of shaping the next generation. Certainly requires dedication, a degree of selflessness, and at times considerable patience. Teachers not only invest in the academic success of our students, and we're very grateful they do that, but they also very much contribute to the personal development of our students and to their ongoing character development. Teaching is a big responsibility. Certainly to perform the job well, you need a whole range of skills, skills that I think excellent teachers continue to hone throughout their careers. They strive to communicate effectively, to find new and innovative ways to engage with their students, and they find new and exciting ways to create opportunities to help their students connect their learning to the broader world. We have many good teachers, and we have some great teachers. And we are here today to honor some of those teachers who have gone above and beyond in their efforts to connect with their students, to provide guidance, and to offer those students inspiration for the future. I suspect that for those of you in the audience, you are going to find moments during this event where you are caused to pause and reflect a little bit on your own educational journey. And no doubt, one or two or maybe several teachers will come to mind that had a significant influence on you. I know that always happens to me when I attend this event. I think about some of the teachers that I had in high school who encouraged me to think about and reflect on some of the strengths and potential that I had. And I think about some of the highly influential professors that I had who helped me and guided me to make some of the educational choices that I made. And together, they have had a profound influence on my life's trajectory. And I hope that you find a moment to pause and reflect on those important teachers, and like me, are filled with gratitude that there have been people who cared enough about their role to take time to influence and provide guidance and to affect your lives. I know that I feel incredibly grateful to those people. We're going to hear about some very special teachers today. We're going to hear about how they've influenced their students and how they've influenced not only their education, but their lives. I'm very much looking forward to hearing from students, and I hope that, as I will be, you will also be inspired and uplifted by the stories that they share. And I think you'll also probably find moments of great humor. It's fascinating to me, no matter how old you get, can you ever call your primary or secondary teachers by their first name? I certainly cannot. So I'd just like to say that on behalf of the president and the entire executive team here at the University of Manitoba, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to extend my warmest congratulations to, first of all, the students who were selected to participate in this event. That is already an incredible honor. So congratulations to you. And also I want to say very warm congratulations to the teachers that we are going to honor today. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for the dedication that you show. And I hope you all enjoy the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hiebert-Murphy. Many of us probably can identify someone in our life that has been an outstanding teacher. And what is it that distinguishes that person from all the others? So today, the students will answer this and share their experiences and the reasons why they have chosen the teachers that will stand before you this afternoon. So what I will do is call up by faculty up to the stage the students with their honored teachers. So you'll proceed up the stage and go to the podium on this other side of the stage. And then the student will then share for about 3 minutes about their teachers. And then Colleen will present a certificate to the students and glass awards to the teachers. Then you will proceed or descend down the stairs to the back corner over there where you can take photographs. And as well at that time, I will ask representatives from each of the faculties to go to the back corner as well to take photos as a group. So we will begin. So we'll begin with the Faculty of Agricultural and Food Sciences, student Rachel Akong, and teachers Dr. Carla Taylor and Mr. Blaine Workman.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rachel Akong, and this spring I will be graduating with a degree in Human Nutritional Sciences with a concentration in dietetics. I'm honored to be here today to give praise and recognition to our teachers and professors, for without educators, few professions would be possible in this world. I would also like to give a special thanks to all of the professors in the Human Nutritional Sciences Department for their hard work and dedication. I've been truly blessed over the past couple of years in getting to know everyone, not only on a professional level, but also on a human one. When I found out that my role here would be to honor 2 educators who have made a significant impact on my educational journey, I was delighted because I knew exactly who I wanted to choose for this recognition. Though I graduated from high school ages ago, and I've lived half my life in a different province, I immediately knew which teacher had the biggest impact on me during those formative high school years. And what speaks volumes about him is that I'm sure every single student who knew him and studied under him feels the exact same way. I would like to introduce you to Mr. Blaine Workman, the former band director at Golden Gate Middle School, Silver Heights Collegiate, and later Sturgeon Heights Collegiate. Mr. Workman was what we would lovingly call a hard ass. But his level of skill and dedication to his craft as a band director and as a horn player is unparalleled. Throughout his career, Mr. Workman has been meticulous, driven, and always striving for perfection, not only for himself, but from all of his students. The amount of drive, determination, and motivation we received from him pushed us to not only be our best, but I would argue that we were the best bands in the whole entire city, winning triple gold at every festival, both in and out of province. Mr. Workman cultivated a warm and caring atmosphere conducive to learning, self-empowerment, and self-improvement, which are all very important during the high school experience. No one pushed us as hard and with as much love as he did. So thank you for that. You have truly changed my life and touched so many others in ways that will stick with us for the rest of our days, and we could not have asked for a better teacher, and I am humbled to know you. Now, selecting a professor to honor from the university was just as easy a task because I could not imagine this recognition going to anyone else but the lovely woman standing next to me. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Carla Taylor, a professor in the Department of Human Nutritional Sciences, adjunct professor in the Department of Physiology and Pathophysiology, and principal investigator in metabolic nutrition research for the Canadian Centre for Agri-Food Research in Health and Medicine. That's a mouthful. When I think of what the perfect teacher is, I immediately think of Dr. Taylor. She embodies all that it means to be an educator and has so much passion for imparting her knowledge and expertise onto the next generation of scientists. If you ask any of the students in the department who their favorite teacher is, then they inevitably say that it's Dr. Taylor. She deserves that title. She's one of the kindest, most compassionate, and gentle professors that I've had the pleasure of learning from. Like a second mom to us all, her classroom is always a safe space in which we can ask the stupid questions without feeling foolish, while simultaneously being pushed to elevate ourselves and our knowledge base. She is always there for her students and strives to know every single one of them as individuals, in fact, by taking our photo and learning some tidbits about us on the first day of class. So words truly are inadequate to describe how wonderful and amazing I think that Dr. Taylor is. Please help me honor her, and again, Mr. Workman, with a big round of applause.
From the School of Agriculture, student Nathan Cron and teachers Garrett Sawatsky and Mr. Taran Luhowi.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be here with all these exceptional students and teachers. I'd like to thank the Selections Committee and the School of Agriculture for selecting me and giving me this opportunity to recognize two teachers who have impacted me greatly. I'm just a kid from a single-A school in rural western Manitoba, yet I've had great opportunities for learning and personal growth through the hard work of many teachers and people who have encouraged me, and I feel very blessed. The first teacher I'd like to thank and recognize is Mr. Lahoy. As a teacher in a small school, Mr. Lahoy has worn many hats. He taught me grade 9 math, grades 11 and 12 pre-cal. He was also my high school gym teacher, volleyball coach, baseball coach, hockey manager, and a staff supervisor on more than his fair share of school trips. He believed in me and helped me develop as a young athlete and challenged me to do my best and learn in math class and learn how to help others. Mr. Lahoy has spent many hours of his personal time so that me and my friends could play sports, go on skiing trips, and have many other opportunities. He is a great teacher and good at challenging high schoolers who think they know everything or have an attitude that needs correcting. He taught me much more than math or how to set a volleyball, and I am very thankful for the impact he had on me in my junior high and high school years. The other teacher I've chosen to honor today is Mr. Garrett Sawatsky. Mr. Sawatsky stayed with our class as we developed our final projects for the Ag Diploma program and taught our class many valuable things about farm finances, farm planning, representing our farm and agriculture well, and time management. Mr. Sawatsky did well to adjust to our class's needs, providing us with step-by-step videos to help us with some of our longer and more complicated assignments. He also left class time for students to ask questions and to give hopefully constructive feedback. Not only did he teach our class, but he also manages a team of advisors that spends time with students, and there was lots of communication that he manages very well. He created a welcoming, open classroom environment that students felt comfortable asking questions. One other thing about both of these teachers that they both have in common, aside from being exceptional teachers, is that they both have young families. I've appreciated both of their sacrifices they have made to be apart from their families, to answer late-night emails about assignments, or to give me and my classmates extracurricular opportunities. I admire how they not only balance being a good role model for students, but also for their families as well. Both of these men have taught me and prepared me for future challenges in life. They both have my respect and the respect of all those who they've taught, and I'm very thankful for the influence that they have had on my education and personal development. Mr. LaHoy and Mr. Sawatsky, thank you.
From the Faculty of Architecture, student Reese Cullen and teachers Leanne Muir and Michael Strachan.
Good afternoon. My name is Reese Cullen, and I'm a graduating student from the Faculty of Architecture here at the University of Manitoba. And to begin, I want to thank the organizers of the event and from the Faculty of Architecture for selecting me to honor the educators that I'll be talking about today. I've been beyond fortunate to work with many exceptional educators in my early education and within the University of Manitoba. For my experiences, I have selected Leanne Muir from the Faculty of Architecture and Mike Strachan from my 6th grade at Waverly Park. Leanne Muir is an instructor from the Faculty of Architecture at the University of Manitoba. Leanne has taught several courses throughout my environmental design education, including ecology and design studio. Co-led with Dale Wiebe, Leanne instructed our first design studio within the landscape and urbanism stream. From the beginning, Leanne was involved and engaging with students, going out of her way to organize site visits, discussions with community members and practitioners, and events for us to bond as a newly formed studio group. These activities often required extra time and effort to coordinate, which Leanne was happy to do to help us in our education. Leanne's empathy towards the community is reflective in the narratives of our studio briefs. Projects within Design Studio involved groups from outside of the university, such as Save Our Seine and the Winnipeg Trails Association, listening to their opinions and participating in community work. It was within this studio that I discovered that design and landscape architecture is guided by the communities and individuals we design for, which I attribute greatly to her and Dale. Leanne's feedback was always direct and personalized, encouraging us to always incorporate our values and beliefs into our work and be critical about our own designs and projects. Despite the challenges that come with teaching the first studio within the landscape and urbanism stream, Leanne was patient and helpful throughout the entire design process. Thank you. Thank you, Leanne. Mike Strachan was my 6th grade teacher at Waverly Park in Brandon, Manitoba. Not only were we Mike's first grade 6 class, but we were Mike's first class ever. I will never forget about how much Mike cared for each and every person within that classroom. Mike was an incredible educator, bringing novel and interesting methods of teaching into the classroom that made every course fun in a different way. Whether it was field trips, lessons, or games, Mike brought a level of energy to the work week that I'd never experienced before. It cannot be easy to hold the attention of 25 6th graders, but Mike found a way by really listening and learning about what we were interested in. Whether it was sports, video games, ballet, music, Mike was engaged in our interests and even coming to our extracurricular activities after school to cheer us on each once a month. I'm fortunate to be in contact with Mike to this day, and whenever I see him or we see each other, he's quick to ask about my own life along with the classmates from the past, all by name. As a result, those grade 6 classmates that I keep in contact with still ask about Mike and what's going on in his life. That's just the kind of person that he is. As a concluding statement, the most impactful piece of knowledge that Mike and Leanne both taught me was that learning and educating can be more than a classroom and a whiteboard. The willingness of Mike and Leanne to take the extra steps to get to know us as people rather than just students made all the difference in my own education and my fellow graduates along the way. Thanks to both of them.
From the Faculty of Arts, student Asiya Khan and teachers Dr. Jennifer Dewick and Mr. Dave Pyle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Asya Khan, and I'm an honors history student from the Faculty of Arts. I would like to first thank the faculty and the Department of History for selecting me for this opportunity to thank two very special individuals who have made such a big impact on my learning journey. So many people have shaped who I am today, and I am so excited to honor my high school history and global issues teacher, Mr. Dave Pyle, and my history professor, Dr. Jennifer Dueck. I have very fond memories of my time at Fort Richmond Collegiate, especially in Mr. Pyle's classes. I remember distinctly how particular he was about how we treated his beloved classroom maps and his competitive spirit as the Ethics Bowl team coach. But memories aside, it is in his classes where I developed very important skills around building arguments. Mr. Pyle would interrogate our arguments in order to strengthen our speech and highlight critical thinking. And it is due to him and his classes that I began to value the need to understand politics, and will be the reason I would join Youth Parliament in Manitoba later on. As someone who is not very fond of public speaking, it was a monumental moment when he put me on the Ethics Bowl team representing our school, which was an activity that sought to teach students how to collaborate on discussions to find solutions to a multitude of problems. Being selected as part of this team, despite my fear of public speaking, pushed me to meet the expectations that Mr. Pyle had of me and become comfortable with being out of my comfort zone. I am now a student of history, which as a child of immigrant parents defies the three honored professions, doctor, lawyer, engineer. So this was not something I expected to pursue after graduating from high school, but I now recognize it was a natural progression of the lessons I learned under the guidance of Mr. Pyle. To me, Mr. Pyle's classroom was a site of new beginnings. Thank you, Mr. Pyle. Now, Dr. Dueck has had a significant impact on my development and growth as a university student. Her courses pushed me to engage with and rethink preconceived notions I had about different regions and moments in history. She lent me books to improve my writing, helped me completely reevaluate how to write and how to express my ideas better, which is a skill I have been able to apply both in the classroom and outside of it. What has been really significant to me is the time and effort she invests into students. Last year, I had a semester where I would see her for morning classes, then office hours for more questions, then an evening seminar. So a lot of time. But even then, her door was open and she welcomed my endless stream of questions. Dr. Dueck also helped me think through the classic question, what do you want to do after you graduate? And how I can apply myself when I pursue my master's. When I see Dr. Dueck, I see someone who enjoys teaching and learning about history, and that passion is contagious and has only made me want to learn more and pursue higher education in history. She is a role model for me, and I aspire to be like her in the future, to be able to inspire that joy in learning about history and understanding various perspectives. Both of these incredible teachers went above and beyond, genuinely listening and actively including students like me, making us feel truly embraced in a world that often feels sharply divided. To our teachers, your impact reaches far beyond the classroom. You shape lives. Congratulations again, Mr. Pyle and Dr. Dueck, for this well-deserved honor. Thank you.
Also from the Faculty of Arts, student Logan Hiebert and teachers Dr. David Watt and Matt Jansen.
Hi, everyone. I would just like to start off by saying how grateful I am to be able to be here to honor two of the teachers who have so wonderfully enriched both my life and my education. And thank you to the English department especially for granting me with this opportunity, as I think a lot of my successes can be attributed to the guidance I received from the spectacular professors that the U of M's English department is filled with. Even in high school, however, I had amazing teachers to look up to. Mr. Matt Jansen was my grade 11 and 12 English teacher at Linden Christian School, and although I'd always been an avid reader, his instruction is what sparked in me an excitement for the study of literature. I think his classes were universally loved. I don't know of a single person who didn't enjoy them. Not only is he encouraging and motivational, but he is also kind, funny, and exceptionally engaging. I don't think he's even capable of making a class boring. He pushes all of his students to expand and develop in ways many of us would never have otherwise dreamed of, such as in the writing and performing of original songs, which was simultaneously one of the best and worst experiences of my life. Mr. Jansen was a large part of the reason I considered studying English in university. I remember he made a comment on one of my report cards that said I'd do well writing university essays, and this has always stuck with me. He made me feel confident enough in my own abilities to pursue what I previously assumed I wouldn't be able to succeed at, and I am forever grateful for the push his encouragement gave me. And then I transitioned to university English, and I was lucky enough to be in Dr. David Watt's first-year class, which was absolutely life-changing. Ever since first year, I have made it no secret how much I admire Dr. Watt and his classes. I'm sure my family's sick of hearing about it by now. But right from the first class, it was evident that Dr. Watt was engaging, passionate, generous, and determined for his students to succeed. Not only were his assignments interesting and fun to work on, but he also encouraged and facilitated peer collaboration through scheduling peer workshops and two-on-one office hour meetings, enabling each and every one of us to submit our best work and to learn from the strengths and unique insights of our classmates. Just the nature of Dr. Watt's classroom environment alone made collaboration and participation easy and enjoyable. I'm sure Mr. Jansen can attest to the fact that I was utterly and completely silent during class discussion in high school, but somehow I found myself making comments during class on a regular basis while under Dr. Watt's instruction. His teaching helped me find my voice and see the value that my own contributions and insights brought to the class. Dr. Watt appreciated every comment that was shared by any one of us. He built each of us up and made us all aware of our own unique successes and achievements. I came out of his class feeling competent and capable, and I have no doubt that each and every one of my classmates felt exactly the same way. Ultimately, my first-year class with Dr. Watt was what confirmed for me that English was the degree I wanted to pursue, and my decision to do so has resulted in some of the most fulfilling experiences of my life and some of the work that I'm most proud of. Thankfully, Dr. Watt was also offering a course in my second year, so I got to spend another 6 credit hours with him, where somehow he managed to make medieval literature, which I could hardly understand, interesting and exciting to both read and write about. However, his impact has not remained isolated within the classroom. He encouraged me to pursue higher education and provided me with the resources to do so. He pushed me to apply for scholarships that he thought I could qualify for, and he offered to write me a reference letter if I ever needed, excitedly doing so upon my request. Dr. Watt is a central part of the reason I got into my dream program for this September, and I will forever be grateful for the impact he's had on my education and on my future. Although I'm excited to move on to the next chapter of my life, I'm absolutely devastated to be saying goodbye to the study of English literature and the plethora of exceptional and passionate educators in the field. So thank you to both Dr. Watt and Mr. Jansen for the way you've enriched not only my life, but the lives of every student who passes through your classrooms.
From the Faculty of Education, student Shayla Davidson and teachers Rachel Fessick-Lamb and Mrs. Catherine Amato.
Okay, hello everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the Faculty of Education and the selection committee for selecting me for this award. When I started university almost 8 years ago, and I was kind of taking a couple classes here and there, and I was like, why am I even in university, honestly? Like, what am I doing? I never would have thought that I would be standing here as an outstanding student. That is amazing to me. So I am so excited to be here to celebrate Catherine Amato and Rachel Fessick-Lamb. They are 2 truly phenomenal educators, and I'll start with Catherine. She was my high school choir teacher. And when I joined choir in grade 9, I had no idea how impactful it would be on my life. I joined it because I was like, I like to sing, and I really want to do this as a class. So it brought me so much joy throughout my high school journey, and it was the reason why I loved going to school. It ultimately, why am I crying? Okay, it ultimately inspired me to want to become a music teacher myself, and I'm so excited to start that in September this year. I felt sort of lost after high school, and I was like, what do I do? And I thought back to Catherine's classes, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what is going to interest me in a career, and that's so exciting, and I was very thrilled to join the Faculty of Music to do so, and then now later into the Faculty of Education. I thought back to all the wonderful moments in her classes and rehearsals that we had and the enriching performance opportunities that we had in choir and vocal jazz. And Catherine has just been so incredibly supportive of me, even outside of high school too. And I really valued that. And she made not only myself, but everybody else in the room seem valued and heard. And it's clear that she cared about each and every one of us, and not just the students, but the humans in front of her, because it's so important to think about humans. So, of course, getting performance ready and performing the rep and getting, ready to go in the curriculum, of course that's important, but she never let that be the priority. It was always the students that came first. And I know as a teacher, I'm going to have to do curriculum and all that business. Obviously, that's important, as we know, obviously. But it was very evident that she had the students as #1 priority, and that is so incredible. So I value you so much as a person and as a teacher, so thank you. Speaking about another phenomenal educator, Rachel, you are a prof like no other, seriously. When I was looking at courses this year, I was like, oh, Rachel's teaching this class? I don't even care what this is. Like, I did, of course. Like, I was like, I want to take this class, but I was like, Rachel's teaching that? I'm taking that class. I remember the first day of class with you just under 2 years ago, and I genuinely walked away from that class thinking, wow, that was so great. Coming from the Faculty of Music, where of course we had lecture-based courses, and a lot of it wasn't lecture-based, so it was like you're performing, you're singing, you're doing things. I thought, okay, I'm coming into the Faculty of Ed, and like here we go, we're doing good old lecture style again. But that was not the case at all. Rachel was so engaging, and of course that she did lecture for short periods of time, but key point, short periods of time. And she had us doing lots of engaging and practical activities that I have taken away from that experience and am so excited to use with my students in the future. And I just would leave every one of your classes feeling so grateful for what I had learned and that I actually retained it. I was like, yes, I can remember this the next day. And so I think about my time at the Faculty of Education, and I immediately, it was obvious that I was going to choose you. So my favorite line of yours that I will never, ever forget is that the way through the head is through the heart. And I mean, as we hear everybody speaking today, it's very clear that relationships and connection building for teachers is so important. And that is something that I try to embody as a teacher myself, and I will go through my teaching career doing as well. A teacher who inspires others, who works hard, and most importantly, cares about the human beings that are in front of them. So that is who these two educators are, and I'm so honored to be standing here with both of you. Thank you for being you, and yeah. Give them a round of applause.
From the Price Faculty of Engineering, students Sebastian Kapuska and teachers Dr. Sean O'Brien and Mr. Noah Joseph.
Hello, everyone. Everybody's complained about the stairs. I guess that's mechanical engineer's job to fix. We'll work on that. Anyway, my name's Sebastian Kapuska, and I'm graduating from Price Faculty of Engineering with a degree in mechanical engineering, filled with gratitude. Gratitude for the incredible journey I've had, and for the individuals who have been instrumental in shaping it. Among them, I have honored to express my deepest appreciation for two of them, Mr. Noah Joseph and Dr. Sean O'Brien. Reflecting on my high school years, amidst a myriad of influential teachers, Mr. Joseph not only stood out profoundly. Throughout my journey from grade 11 to 12, he not only taught me IB physics, but he gave me a passion for understanding the intricacies of the world, understanding everything. I vividly recall the daunting challenge of the IB physics exam. I swear this is the hardest exam I've ever written hands down, even after finishing my mechanical engineering degree. And it would not have been possible without Mr. Joseph's help. His unwavering support made it all possible, and it was a lot of fun. His passion and aptitude for teaching really shows. It's incredible. He's able to break down complex topics complex topics such as, I can't even think of any complex topics. Maybe like quantum mechanics and relativity, into really simple forms that actually I can understand and really everybody liked. Fostering an environment where curiosity thrived. It was super awesome, and his excellence was pursued relentlessly. His dedication wasn't confined to the syllabus. He did extracurricular activities such as physics club, where he got together a bunch of students and we went and built a thing that we then flew up to the sky, and he helped us soar to new heights through the Grill Space Balloon Challenge, quite literally. Mr. Joseph, I had such a great experience, and I'm honored and thankful for you to be a part of shaping who I am. I'm certain that many of our students feel exactly the same. You're not just a teacher. You're a mentor, a role model, and a cherished friend. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Dr. O'Brien's impact on my academic journey was equally as profound. Amidst the challenges of online learning during the pandemic, his dedication was immediately evident in our Fluids 1 course. With meticulous care, he curated additional resources, demonstrated cool experiments in his basement, and even ventured into learning video editing to enhance our learning experience. He clearly went above and beyond. His commitment continued further into the ME Labs courses, where he dived into helping students learn further by revamping the syllabus, having us prototype different projects and fun educational things to do in the lab, rather than the boring syllabuses that he's talked about that used to be in effect, which I'm really grateful for. Never settling for just good enough, he always pushed above and beyond. He made a huge difference, and that's what actually allowed the material to stick. In applying it, you're able to understand the material and keep it with you forever. Each time I go to his office to ask a question about really anything, I see him prototyping some new sort of thing, and without fail, every time I ask him a question, he's always eyes light up, showing us why he's designing it and how he's going to help students using this device. It's always super awesome to see. He actively seeks feedback from students and then translates it into actual tangible steps for meaningful improvement. Dr. O'Brien, your dedication for nurturing minds and fostering growth is truly commendable. Thank you for your unwavering support, and congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
From the Clayton H. Riddell Faculty of Environment, Earth and Resources, student Ray Gerard and teachers Dr. Andrew Fredrickson and Mrs. Angela Russenholt.
All right, hello everybody. First, I'd like to start off by acknowledging and thanking the Riddell faculty for enabling me to honor two teachers beside me who have had a profound impact on my academic life, and thank the many teachers and professors in this room today who have had significant impacts on the lives of students here and outside of this room as well. It's the time and dedication that you all put into preparation, delivery, and relationships with students that allow many to thrive and pursue excellent things in life. And on that note, I'd like to introduce you to two teachers who have had an incredible impact not only on my academic life, but also in everyday life and work-related experiences. First, on my right, is Mrs. Angela Russenholt, my grade 10 general science and grades 11 and 12 chemistry teacher at J.H. Bruns Collegiate. Immediately, I admired Ms. Russenholt's classroom and learning resource organization, dedication to and knowledge surrounding chemistry, and perfected art of knowing how to point you in the correct direction without giving away the answer to a complicated problem. It's these different components that have all found their way into my life and have shaped me into the committed, hardworking student that I am today. I now pride myself on my organization and motivation to pursue my interests with utmost dedication, and I often find myself thinking back to our classroom environment for inspiration, whether it be for my pursuit of a geophysics honors degree or career in geophysics, or my former piano and music theory teaching, performing, and studying ventures. On my left is Dr. Andrew Fredrickson, my seismology, inverse theory, NSERC research project advisor, and current field school professor and honors thesis advisor. Even as a direct entry in the geophysics program, I came into university with an undecided mindset, but had worked through the first year of the program and somehow found myself eligible for a research award in the summer following. This project, led by Dr. Fredrickson, was a seismic geophysical research project that immediately sealed the deal for me. It sold me on geophysics. The project introduced me to many brand new concepts. It was perfectly organized for a student such as myself, being very new at the time, and was thorough with report writing and survey design elements and style that I continue to use to this day. Through the next years and up to today, and onward, I'm sure, of course, I have been admiring his dedicated work as both a professor and now acting dean of the Riddell faculty that has inspired me to grow into the geophysicist I am today. In this past year, I have had the honor of having Dr. Fredrickson be my honors thesis advisor as well, which has perfectly capped off an incredible university experience that I will never forget. And with that, I would like to thank both of you for absolutely everything. The impact that you've had on my academic life, everyday life, and eventual life in a geophysics career. Your influence on my dedication to invest all that I have into the things that I enjoy most are what allowed me to be where I'm at today, and I will never forget that. So thank you both very much.
From the School of Dental Hygiene, students Stacy Urban and teachers Ms. Lorraine Glassford and Mr. Shane Larrett.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stacy Urban. I am a graduating dental hygiene student. First off, I would like to start by saying thank you to the University of Manitoba and the Center of the Advancement of Teaching and Learning for the opportunity to speak here today, and to Professor Mary Bertone, who sadly couldn't be here today, and the School of Dental Hygiene for selecting me to participate. Teachers have always been an inspiration to me. Their dedication, encouragement, and enthusiasm for education has helped countless students create, pursue, and achieve their goals. Choosing just 2 teachers who have influenced me throughout my education was a challenge. There are many people who deserve thanks and recognition for helping me reach this point. But today, I have chosen to recognize and honor Mr. Shane Larrett and Miss Lorraine Glassford. So prior to graduating high school, I had the privilege of attending Mr. Larrett's grade 11 English course at Vincent Massey Collegiate. Mr. Larrett is known for his positivity and creating a welcoming environment for those in his class. His humorous nature and effort to connect with students is appreciated by all and turns his classroom into a safe place to express our creativity. In my personal experience, Mr. Larrett's teaching was the catalyst that sparked my interest in learning. As a student who struggled through early years in school, I will never forget how his kindness and his encouragement completely flipped my view of attending school and gave me the courage to explore further education. Looking back, I am so grateful for the lessons he taught through literature, the laughs shared during his class, and for having the opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of both English language arts and myself in the process. Mr. Larrett, thank you so much for creating such a fun and comfortable environment for your students. I know I'm definitely not the only graduate who looks back and appreciates all of the hard work you put into your teaching. And now, from the School of Dental Hygiene, the teacher who helped me gain my footing in clinical techniques and ignited my interest in oral health was Ms. Glassford. Ms. Glassford taught us multiple classes, including preclinical dental hygiene, oral and dental anatomy, dental radiology, and a portion of our dental hygiene theory and practice course in our first year. On top of this, she was also our class advisor, providing us invaluable support and advice while we worked through the program. From the start, Ms. Glassford gave us great constructive feedback and ensured we were prepared for what this profession entails. From the time we were just learning how to create a steady fulcrum to when we first saw our patients in the school clinic, her belief in our class gave us courage and helped us overcome the struggles we face along the way. Personally, I have learned a great deal from Ms. Glassford. As the representative for the DH dental hygiene student body, she has lent an ear to me on many occasions, providing support and encouragement during difficult times. Her immeasurable patience and kindness over the past 2 years has not gone unnoticed. Ms. Glassford is an inspiring educator, and having the opportunity to learn from her has greatly influenced my perception of the dental hygiene profession. Her honesty with students, at sometimes brutal honesty, and dedication to helping us grow has left a lasting impression on me, and I know it has on many others as well. Thank you deeply and greatly, Ms. Glassford, for all of the work you put into your teaching. And again, thank you both, Mr. Larrett and Ms. Glassford, for being here today, and all of the other incredible teachers who are here. If you're here, you know you did something right. Thank you, everyone.
From the Dr. Gerald Niznik College of Dentistry, student Deji Omotayo, and teachers Dr. Charlene Solomon and Mr. Wasiu Adewale Mudasiru. And Mr. Mudasiru is unable to attend, but I would like to make special mention that he made every effort to come to this event all the way from Nigeria, and unfortunately in the end was unable to, but I thought I would just really mention the impact that being acknowledged as a teacher can have on so many educators all around the world. So, Deji.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So my speech today is one of gratitude. First, I'm grateful to stand here. It's been a journey for me. And just to say thank you to my school, the Dr. Gerald Niznik College of Dentistry, for this opportunity. And one thing I've always said is I'm grateful to be a student in that school. I'm thanking the faculty, thanking all our full-time, part-time professors, And, being selected as well just takes that gratitude to another level. So thank you. I'm grateful. I'll start by recognizing my high school teacher, Mr. Mudashiru. Unfortunately, he can't make it today. And the words that come to mind is, that man literally saved my life. And I'll tell the story. At age 12, my father was shot right in front of me, and that trauma was something that I couldn't get off. I decided at the time I was going to go into gun violence. I was going to join a gang because I was the only child. He was literally my best friend, and someone had taken him away from me. But Mr. Mudashiru stepped up as a father that I didn't have and used academics to turn my life around. He would give me several assignments. He would give me loads of work. And I didn't have time for anything else other than being a good student. And there was just no time to do anything else. It was always work and work and work. So standing here today, I'm grateful to him. He gave my wandering teenage mind lots of academic work. He was my maths teacher. And what he always told me was just channel all that energy to be the best I could be. I became a dentist in Nigeria with all that effort, and I'm grateful to him. Fast forward 2019, after 10 years of being a dentist in Nigeria, I moved to Canada. And at that time, it was moments of, how can I be a dentist here in Canada? Is it possible? And this College of Dentistry gave me a chance. Step forward, Dr. Charlene Solomon. Thank you for being here. She is so calm. And for anyone who knows how dentistry works, dentistry is very tough. And when I say tough, it's very, very tough. And to see someone who can bring all that toughness, all that difficulty from a calm and easy perspective. And I'll give you a picture of how our school works. Every day in clinic, we have different patients. So I have a patient, my colleagues have patients, and it's interesting that many times when Dr. Solomon is in clinic, you would have a long line of students just waiting so that Dr. Solomon could see our patients. And every time, without fail, she would wait, she would speak to us, she would teach us, and it's just an incredible experience. I'm grateful to you, and this is coming from someone who's been a dentist before. What you have done together with the school has really shaped myself and my other classmates to being dentists here in Canada, and we are really grateful to you. Once again, as I close, a big thank you to my school, the College of Dentistry. Thank you to Dr. Solomon, and unfortunately, my teacher can't be here today, but I'm just grateful. And I round off by saying, I'm grateful and I'm thankful to be here. Thank you so much.
From the College of Nursing, student Morgan Sachin and teachers Ms. Danielle Yaffe and Mrs. Kristen Wine-Noble.
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan, and I'm honored to have been chosen to represent the College of Nursing here and to have the opportunity to thank two incredible women whose examples have inspired and continue to shape my growth as a new registered nurse. First, Ms. Kristen Wine-Noble. I walked into your grade 11 biology classroom as a grade 10 student following some of the darkest and most challenging years of my life. At that time, I felt like I was living in a personal bubble under my own storm cloud. I had lost my sense of identity and agency and felt profoundly that no one would ever understand my inner life. But from that first day, your calm and warmth touched me. I felt so safe that within weeks, I was comfortable sharing with you in an assignment the most difficult and vulnerable experience of my life. I still have that assignment with your response and reflect on it often. You wrote, "Thank you for sharing this part of your life with me. You are a very strong young lady, and you should be proud of your accomplishments." I haven't felt seen like that in a long time. It was in your class that I was first inspired to pursue nursing. Not only did I fall in love with human anatomy and physiology, but I saw you, an amazing, intelligent, caring woman who had yourself started a nursing degree before finding your calling in high school biology classroom. At 16, I had always imagined myself as a professional musician. I was scared to explore other interests because life decisions seem so permanent and defining. You taught me that it's okay to pivot if a chosen path isn't resonating with us, and that change is not a sign of failure, but rather a testament to growth. You have always recognized the huge expectations I place on myself and offered me a space to slow down and reflect on where I am and where I'm going. Thank you for inspiring me to embrace the unknown with open arms. You have shown hundreds of students the value of staying curious about the world, about our communities, about each other, and most importantly, about ourselves. In a world where connections so easily fade with time, your unwavering belief in me has remained steadfast. To this day, conversations with you feel like coming home to a place of comfort and deep understanding, and for this, I'm so grateful. Danielle, we first met virtually in fall 2021. I was windswept after my first semester of nursing and struggling with a sense of isolation and a lack of purpose that I had not anticipated when I'd imagined myself at that point in the program. Even through a computer screen, you radiated positivity and fostered an interactive, student-led approach to learning. We already had a mutual enthusiasm for the nitty-gritty of pathophysiology and clinical problem solving. But by sharing your own clinical experiences and creating space for others' life stories, you encouraged exploration of each student's interests and expanded the content beyond the textbook, giving it relevance so that all students felt knowledgeable and comfortable with the most complex topics. In your class, I felt that my experiences outside the clinical environment were just as valuable as years of nursing practice and represented strengths on which I could draw to become a confident and competent nurse. The Skills Lab was our only touchstone to reality during the uncertainty of the pandemic. You bravely led your team day in and day out to ensure the space we walked into was one of acceptance, exploration, and joy. I marvel at your seemingly endless capacity to connect personally with students, recognizing their unique strengths, characters, challenges, and aspirations, and remembering these long after we move on from your classroom. You show up honestly and authentically, supporting us to do the same. You're the first instructor I'd go to for advice when facing a challenging decision or conflict, knowing I'd be met with empathy and a balanced perspective. I know I'm not the first student to recognize you in this way, and I'm certain I won't be the last. This is a testament to your dedication and the care and pride you take in your role. As a mentor, you model what it means to be both confident in oneself and compassionate towards others. I believe these characteristics are the key not only to a fulfilling and meaningful career as a nurse, but to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Thank you.
From the College of Pharmacy, student Madison Wong and teachers Dr. Jamie Falk and Mr. Bill Jung.
All right. So far, we've heard quite a lot of inspiring stories today, and I'd like to congratulate all my fellow student presenters for sharing them with us. Hopefully, my own stories will be memorable as well. So my name is Madison Wong, and I will be graduating with my PharmD in just a couple of weeks. I would like to start off by thanking the College of Pharmacy, along with the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, for allowing me this special occasion to honor these two educators beside me today. I'd also like to thank my family for coming out to support me. Now I would like to introduce you to Mr. Jung. Mr. Jung taught me grade 9 science, grade 12 biology, and was also my teacher for our yearbook course, which I took part in creating for 3 years at Glenlawn Collegiate. Even though it's been 9 years since I graduated high school, when I was first asked to choose a K-9 teacher to honor, Mr. Jung immediately came to mind. He was the type of teacher you had where you could just tell they genuinely enjoyed teaching what they did, and also didn't take themselves too seriously. A great example, and I wish I could show them to you all, were his staff photos in the yearbook each year. Just picture rows of your standard smiling, happy staff photos, and then you get to the end, and there's Mr. Jung switching up which funny face he was going to make that year. Things like this, or sporting his lab goggles and a lab ring above his head like a little halo. Yeah, that one too. And this was something that really stood out to me. Yes, Mr. Jung was a great teacher, and a lot of what he taught I was able to bring forward to my first science degree and now into pharmacy. But going beyond just the content itself, Mr. Jung demonstrated that learning about science does not need to just be through slides. It can be very creative and engaging. I still remember doing projects in class like stop-motion claymation to demonstrate how DNA replicates, or doing the mitosis and meiosis dance where we'd have to push all the tables to the side of the room, everyone would get up and play a part in demonstrating how cells divide. It was stuff like this that really stuck with me and taught me that science doesn't have to be hard and can just be a lot of fun. So thank you, Mr. Jung, for teaching me that lesson. Now that brings me to Dr. Falk. Now, why did I choose to honor Dr. Falk? I'm going to start off by letting you all in on a little bit of a secret. Maybe it's not so much of a secret for all the profs that taught me over the years, but throughout pharmacy school and university in general, I was pretty well known among my friends for not so occasionally falling asleep in class. I swear I never meant to, it always just happened. Apologies to all my profs out there. But now knowing that secret, I had remembered that I expressed to my friends that I always look forward to Dr. Falk's lectures. And why? Because I was less likely to fall asleep in his lectures. One of the reasons is Dr. Falk uses a lot of visuals within his lecture slides, whether it be big arrows and circles to draw on your attention on certain facts, smiley and frowny faces, or various pictures, and of course, many memes to tie his lectures together. They all made for quite an engaging lecture, and thus I was less likely to fall asleep. Dr. Falk lectured in several of my courses throughout pharmacy, but ultimately what he's known for is being the EBM expert. Now, what is EBM? It stands for evidence-based medicine, which essentially is, in the healthcare field, we have a lot of expert opinions and a lot of clinical guidelines to follow, and that's great. But EBM shifts the focus on what the studies themselves say, how we critically appraise them, and how we apply them to the patient in front of us. And these were the key teachings that Dr. Falk taught that really shaped my own critical thinking skills throughout pharmacy school. It also helped shift my studying away from that memorization mindset that people often fall into, but instead focus more on truly understanding the reasons behind clinical recommendations and not just taking information as it is because it looks official. So with that, I would once again like to thank both Mr. Jung and Dr. Falk. You both grew my interest in science and then in pharmacy and contributed to where I am today. And as I start out my career in pharmacy and after graduation, I'll be sure to take your lessons forward with me. Thank you.
From the College of Rehabilitation Sciences, student Japreet Kaur Gill and teachers Ms. Maureen Walker and Yatsna Sood. Yatsna Sood is unable to join us today.
Hello everyone, my name is Japreet. I'm a final year student of Master of Physical Therapy. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to God, University of Manitoba, the College of Rehabilitation Science Selection Committee to acknowledge my efforts in presenting me with Outstanding Student Award. My journey wasn't easy. It has been fulfilled with so many challenges and relocating from a different country in 2017, adapting to a different education system, and balancing the responsibility of motherhood. None of this would have been possible without the unwavering support of my husband, my family, and of course, the amazing teachers at University of Manitoba. In Indian culture, teachers are revered as a guide who unlocks the door of knowledge and self-discovery. So choosing a teacher was a hard job. Many teachers contributed to shaping me into a person what I am today, but I'm deeply honored from the bottom of my heart to recognize Maureen as my mentor. She's a wonderful person. There are like no words to describe how wonderful she is. She's very empathetic towards her students, and she has not only taught me how I should be doing exercise in physical therapy, but she has also taught me about life. When I was going through some of the personal hardships in life, she was the one who go above and beyond. And I'm breaking rules here. I'm calling her Maureen because that's what she wants me to call. So I'm very grateful to Maureen. Just no words, I'm a little emotional here. My sister is suffering from brain tumor, and I had to go to India, and I had to leave my placement behind, and I was just in the middle of nowhere. And she reached to me, and then she showed me that I can still do it, and I can visit my sister, and I can still academically do well. And it's very hard for teachers to go beyond what some of the students have said, that go beyond and then treat students as human. I think that was the most important thing that touched my heart, and Maureen is a one, I would say. And her willingness to impart life lessons along with academic teaching has left a long-lasting impact on me. So thank you, Maureen. Similarly, I'm grateful to Mrs. Josna, and she's a teacher in India, my grade 6 teacher. So I was being a little bullied while I was in school, and then I was struggling as a student, not doing well because of my health. But she was the one who taught me that I can do it, and she showed confidence in my abilities and trust in my abilities. And when everyone was challenging and then questioning my intelligence, she was the one who showed me trust. And her trust in my ability was a source of encouragement during my school years. So I thank you, Mrs. Josna, for everything you have done. You have taught me core values like truthfulness and honesty, and how professionalism and ethics still values everything. I just don't have any words to explain further. Thank you, Maureen and Mrs. Josna. I'm deeply grateful for the role you have played in shaping my journey. Teachers like you give courage to students to keep shining and make a difference in the lives around you. Thank you so much.
From the Faculty of Kinesiology and Recreation Management, student Sierra Duick and teachers Colleen Plumpton and Gwen Friesen.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Sierra Duick, and I will graduate with my degree in Recreation Management and Community Development with a focus on aging this June, which is super exciting. I want to thank the selection committee and the Faculty of Kinesiology and Recreation Management for allowing me to celebrate these two lovely humans standing with me here today, who have supported me through my formal education journey thus far. I would like to introduce my favorite junior high and high school teacher, Gwen Friesen. She was a faithful teacher at Rosenort School for decades and is now enjoying her retirement, or at least I think she is. Gwen was a teacher who understood the perfect balance of having fun and getting down to work in her classroom. She had it down pat. My favorite memory as her student was when she got her class to create art projects for an art auction to raise money for a charity that we chose. I remember spending many hours after class building and finishing our projects with Gwen. Her passion for teaching was unmatched. There was no shortage of surprises and fun in her classroom. During history class, I remember reenacting a historical war scene where we hid behind our flipped over desks while Gwen gallivanted throughout the classroom. She made heavy course content like the Holocaust and residential schools become real and important events to understand, which has changed the way that I view the world today. Although I can't recite the 50 American states that I memorized in her class, I have taken with me the skills to challenge my biases, thoughts, and preconceived ideas into my university experience, and for that I'm grateful. She pushed me and instilled taking responsibility for my actions, my work, time, effort, and schooling. Gwen was so much more than a teacher, and I can proudly say that she's become a friend. I would also like to introduce a standout teacher from my faculty, Colleen Plumpton. I'm honored to have her, or to have been her student outside of the pandemic, as she taught me the two most engaging and hands-on courses in the Recreation Degree Program, which are Community Engaged Learning and the Supervised Fieldwork Experience. And in both of these courses, Colleen was a constant cheerleader. I think that's the best way to describe her, for her students' accomplishments, both in our educational and personal lives. She is passionate about gaining hands-on experiences and creating reciprocal connections with organizations and people in the field. One thing she taught me is the importance of community and relationships. Most of my classmates have stories of how Colleen helped them through personal difficulties and took the time to adapt course materials to suit their needs. She thrives when she sees her students flourish. She cares about her students as people and doesn't just see them as numbers, which I think we've heard a bunch. Over the past 2 years, she has helped me form connections throughout the field of recreation and has given me a springboard into the workforce. It is because of Colleen and her connecting me with the Alzheimer's Society of Manitoba for my fieldwork experience that I now have the opportunity to be their employee, so I thank her for that. I would like to thank both of my teachers for providing me with the opportunities to grow and for helping shape me into who I am today. My goal is to also lead people with compassion and encourage others to view the world through a broader lens, as you both have. So thank you.
From the Faculty of Law, students Seth Lazinski and teachers Professor Brandon Trask and Mrs. Ingrid Molman.
Hi, everyone. I am so honored to be speaking here today and to recognize two teachers who have been integral to my academic journey, Professor Trask from the Faculty of Law and my high school French instructor, Madame Molman. As a student, I have been incredibly fortunate to have some amazing educators who are passionate, knowledgeable, engaging, and truly care about their students' success. Professor Trask certainly embodies these qualities. When I was feeling lost in the legal field, I may not be what you're picturing when you think of a lawyer, so you can understand why. He was determined to support me through my degree. He pushed me to look at the law critically and approach legal issues from my own unique perspective. It is obvious that Professor Trask loves teaching, and he goes out of his way to make the law both interesting and accessible in the classroom. He has always been there to support me, both academically and with my future career goals. His door is always open for a chat, a pep talk, or a much-needed visit with Robson Hall's unofficial mascot, his dog, George. Professor Trask is committed to improving the legal field by championing his students and ensuring that we feel like valued members of the legal community. I'm so glad to have had Professor Trask as my teacher. He helped me develop my advocacy skills, and thanks to him, I have a better grasp of the justice system, a passion for the criminal law, and a clear vision for my future in the legal profession. I can say with absolute certainty that I would not be where I am today without his mentorship. So thank you, Professor Trask, and congratulations for this well-deserved honor. Madame Molman has also had a profound impact on me as a scholar and as someone who passionately follows their instincts. Madame Molman encouraged my uniqueness and took me under her wing when I struggled socially at school, but thrived in an academic environment. She also made sure to challenge her students, and she pushed me to meet my potential. I was very lucky to enter the French concentration at Robson Hall and participate in several oral advocacy competitions in my second language, and that would not have been possible without Madame Molman's steadfast guidance and support. She had a tendency to volunteer me into extracurricular projects at school, and that improved my French and also helped me develop a passion for storytelling, which I still use in my legal writing today. She excelled at highlighting her students' strengths and gently helping them work through their weaknesses, both in the classroom and out. Like Professor Trask, she was passionate, engaging, and thrived as both a teacher and a mentor. She taught by example, motivating her students to be themselves, to develop their own voice, and to shine in whichever path they ended up. I am very grateful to be one of those students, and I will carry the lessons she taught me forward with me in my career in law. Je vous remercie tous les deux pour votre soutien et votre excellent enseignement. Merci.
From the Desautels Faculty of Music, student Diane Dubik and teachers Professor Mel Braun and Mr. Garth Rempel.
So I'm Diane Dubik. I will be graduating from the Faculty of Music with my bachelor's in vocal performance. So one would hope I'd be pretty good at this. Tragically, I can't say that so. The great tragedy of this event is the fact that I can only pick 2 teachers. There's far too many teachers to count that have had an influential impact on my life. So I have a few honorable mentions. My journey, they'll get their time. My journey started back in 2nd grade when my elementary school music teacher, Marlis Lochran, told my parents I should go get private lessons, partially because I was the only kid who could hold a tune, but also because she could see that I took such incredible joy from music. And that led me on to taking private vocal lessons, piano lessons, and theory lessons, which all prepared me for this degree that I'm in currently. So my private teachers are Nurin Danzinger-Duig and Virginia Heinrichs. In high school, once I got there was the dynamic duo of Garth Rempel and Zane Zalis, the band and choir teachers. They both had a very swim or swim kind of method of teaching. The amount of performances that I really did not want to do that I was kind of thrown into, they made me super resilient, horrifying, absolutely terrifying. Garth Rempel wins out though because he has a personal connection. I also took a extracurricular choir with him. So I've known this man for 9 years at this point. We've been to places like New Orleans, Florida, Seattle, all the way out into the Maritimes, PEI. So I've been across the continent with this man, and is that a good thing? Who knows? He definitely prepared me with the skills I needed for this degree, and he was influential in my critical thinking skills. People don't usually attach that to music, but when you aren't being taught something set like mathematics, you can get into fun philosophical tangents and maybe learn how to do your taxes. So I definitely learned a lot more than just music from Garth Rempel. Up until, I think, about 1 month before the applications into university, I thought music was just a fun, quirky hobby. And it was talking to Garth, and I asked him, do you think I could do music in university? And he said something along the line of all the kids in this program, I think you probably could make it. So, with that said, I decided to go into music. Now that leads me to Mel Braun. Mel Braun deserves the most accolades of any professor probably in the faculty. The grandfather and backbone of the vocal faculty. He brought in the majority of the people there that to this day make the Des Sautel Faculty of Music recognized as one of the best vocal faculties in the country. I have spent probably 4 times the amount of time that is technically allocated to students and mentors having lessons with him. So there's very few programs where you get to spend extensive periods of time with just one person, one-on-one. And that really builds connections and it builds influence in your life. It's really funny because I've definitely been to other places in the country singing, and they say, oh, you study with Mel Braun, right? So there's kind of a Mel Braunian school of vocal singing. And if that isn't representative of enormous impact on this many students, almost every well-known classical baritone to come out of Manitoba has been taught by Mel Braun. And I'm very fortunate to be one of those individuals. So thank you, Mel. Thank you, Garth. It's been great. It's been great knowing you guys.
From the Faculty of Science, student Catherine Bazin and teachers Dr. Sabine Koos and Mr. Andrew Hiebert.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine, and I will be graduating from my degree in chemistry very soon with plans to continue studies through my master's in the fall. And I want to thank the university for hosting such a meaningful event. I'd also like to thank the Faculty of Science for providing me with this opportunity to show some overdue and well-deserved gratitude to the significant individuals you see on the stage with me today. Allowing others to inspire you, influence you, and fundamentally change you for the better is the most important part of life. I've been fortunate to have many incredible teachers who fostered my love of learning and life itself. Teachers become mentors when they guide your life, and there's something about their presence in it that remains with you forever. You're shown your purpose and worth, and they give you the strength to stand in your power with integrity. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Andrew Hiebert, my high school chemistry and physics teacher from MBCI, and Dr. Sabine Koos, my research supervisor and professor in our chemistry department. Allow me to paint a picture for you all here. Imagine a man standing in front of 16 and 17-year-olds, standing on a table in the dark, and he's wearing a really colorful lab coat. And he's waving his hands wildly, talking about things like chemical equilibria and projectile motion. That man is Mr. Hiebert. Anyone that knows Mr. Hiebert knows what a unique and charismatic individual he is. A talented local artist and enthusiastic educator, Mr. Hiebert captivates every classroom with ease. Not only did he do an incredible job preparing me for the rigor of my studies in science, thank you, he also taught me to reflect on my learning and how to apply myself in new ways to get the most out of life. Towards the end of my senior year, Mr. Hiebert noticed how I struggled with self-doubt, confidence, and feeling okay about my future. And he never let me feel unheard. When the pandemic forced us all into isolation, he never stopped engaging us and worked hard to create meaningful learning even then. Even after graduating, he was always eager to support me with many reference letters, sometimes at the last minute, and words of encouragement, and he never failed to celebrate the successes I didn't know I'd have in my undergraduate years. Mr. Hiebert, I will probably never stop calling you Mr. Hiebert, and I cannot thank you enough for all the ways that you've been present in my life for the last several years. I never stopped believing in myself because you never stopped seeing my potential. Now, Dr. Koos was someone that inspired me since I met her. As a second-year university student, I was looking for guidance and a mentor in this field that I was finding my belonging in. And all of my friends know how I made it my mission to weasel my way into her lab and be her research student last year for the summer. And I consider it a huge accomplishment to be part of her exceptional team. Sabine, I cannot thank you enough for all the support you've shown me and all the ways you've helped me achieve my wildest goals and dreams that are currently coming true. I'm so fortunate to have someone like you that I can look up to in these early stages of my career and development as a young scientist. Your guidance throughout this past year especially helped teach me how to approach the next chapter to come while soothing my anxieties, self-doubt, and supporting me in standing more confidently in who I am. Thank you for recognizing my strengths and weaknesses and for navigating with me how to become a better version of myself while also being able to laugh and help me realize sometimes things are not that serious. I wanted to share that a close friend of mine recognized the significance of your mentorship in my life. And they said to me, and I quote, "I'm so glad you have Sabine because it seems like she's exactly the person you needed at this time in your life," and they could not have been more accurate. I'm going to miss you dearly as my teacher as I move on to graduate studies in the fall. Thank you both for being incredible teachers, mentors, and I hope lifelong friends. And please help me congratulate these incredible people. Thank you.
Also from the Faculty of Science, student Akash Natarajan and teachers Dr. Sylvia Cardona and Mr. Chris Azenmacher.
Hello, everyone. So I know every student has said this already, but thanks to the Faculty of Science for nominating me, and thanks to the Center for putting on this event. I'm really happy to be here. And I'm honored today to introduce Mr. Chris Azenmacher, or Mr. A as we know him, and Dr. Sylvia Cardona. Mr. A teaches grade 8 at HS Paul, and I was in his class 8 years ago, and I still talk about it to this day with my friends because I just had such a great time in his class. And even now, my sister Mina, who's in the audience right now, thanks for coming, is in his class right now. So Mr. A was one of my few teachers who encouraged and highlighted critical thinking to any extent before university. And this was really, really important because he taught us to form opinions and think for ourselves and not just memorize and regurgitate like we sometimes even have to do up to second year university, as any student who has taken Biochem 2 will tell you. Mr. A teaches students to think outside the box, and this is a skill that's much more valuable than any particular piece of content that we might learn in the grade 8 curriculum. But the thing that really stands out to me when I remember grade 8 was his ability to balance fun and work in the classroom. He was always willing to participate in whatever shenanigans we were getting up to on a given day, but when it was time to learn, he somehow had the ability to command the whole room and get us to behave. So, good job. I don't know how you managed to do that. I will never forget the time that I spent in your class. Dr. Sylvia Cardona is a professor in the Department of Microbiology, and she currently teaches 1.5 fourth-year micro courses. And her courses are unlike any others in the department, where we're not just learning content and writing exams. She teaches her students how to use real modern tools in microbiology research. And we all know how fast computers are improving, and it's completely changing the way that we do biology research. But that lag time in between introducing that into undergraduate classes is difficult to get past. And Sylvia addresses this by bringing those real modern tools into the classroom and letting us use data from her lab or other published papers and teaching us step by step how to use these tools. And she was always very generous with her time in allowing us to slowly learn how to use them because they are really, really complicated. But that isn't even the main reason that I chose to honor Sylvia today. I first met Sylvia after my second year when I was looking for a summer research position. And as a student who was fully online for the first 2 years, just communicating through emails, she invited me to a lab meeting. And I remember the first lab meeting I went to, I couldn't find the room for like 15 minutes. I was walking around Duff Roblin, not understanding the layout. I was terrified walking into that first lab meeting as a second year who had been on campus maybe 3 or 4 times before. But Sylvia was instantly welcoming. She cultivates a lab where it's warm and collaborative, and we even have a group chat to this day where I talk to all the members from the last few years. At her core, she loves science, and she loves teaching students to become scientists. For example, she encouraged me at the end of my summer to prepare to present my work at a conference at the end, and that experience was transformative, and I've never looked at science the same since that conference. Not to mention, I've lost track of the number of reference letters that I've requested at this point, so thanks for putting up with that. And again, Sylvia has just defined the path that I am on and the path that I'll be pursuing as I move forward in academia. So thanks again to both of you for the roles that you've played in my journey. Your efforts make real differences in the lives of your students, and I'm glad to be able to showcase that today. And I hope to one day become a professor that incorporates both of your teaching styles together. So Sylvia, remember me when I'm back here in 8 years applying for a job? And thank you so much once again.
The student from the Faculty of Social Work, Rich Baker, nominated Dr. Rusty Suleimanov, and unfortunately, last minute, unexpectedly, Rich Baker is not able to attend. So with that, we are now concluding the event, and I would like to offer another round of applause for these amazing students and their very honorable teachers. In closing, if you could also join me in thanking the staff from the Center for the Advancement of Teaching and Learning, in particular the operations group, and as well conference and catering staff for coordinating all of this afternoon's reception. We congratulate all of you, and we would like to join together with some appetizers, some beverages over in Marshall McLuhan Hall, which is to your right through those doors. So please feel free, take pictures, do whatever you need on this side, but there is food on the other side, some lovely music, and an opportunity just to get to know and have some great conversation. So again, thank you for joining us today, taking the time out, and thank you again for all that you've done to impact these students over the last many years. Have a great evening.